Traffic was always a hassle this time of year. Snowy slush pushed to either side of the cars, wintry bricks of inconsideration tumbling off of vehicles as they passed, on and off turn signals and hazard lights, exposing people's inadequacies. The snow caused issues here and there for the inexperienced, as well as those who considered themselves experienced. It was something people in the city grew to embrace. There were the usual string of accidents here and there. But luckily everything was minor this morning. Once past the city limits, everything would open up. Most people would continue on about their day. After all, no one was hurt and they had lives to live. Addison was no exception to this, living here in the city for the past few years. She wore a warm, relaxed version of her usual business attire, knowing that this drive would be a bother. Furry boots instead of her pristine flats, and a fluffy sweater instead of her suit jacket, which was currently hanging in the back. These were a few of the little changes she made with comfort in mind. There was no point in being perfectly dolled up for a 3-hour road trip. The professionalism can go back on once she decides to turn her base back down. The cars crept along until finally Addison reached her escape towards the forest. This road split off towards the northeast, and the farther she got from the city, the less cars she saw. The sun peeked under the clouds for just a bit longer, but once in the forest, the sky was bright white. This was the peaceful part of her journey. Addison was actually enjoying her commute much more than she predicted. Classic holiday jingles were peppered through her own playlist. New podcast episodes with a wintry twist shocked and held her attention. Warm, themed holiday drinks hugged her taste buds. Until, of course, they were gone. It had become more apparent how far she had gotten once she started to see the landmarks she was told about. They slowly crept into view. Signs, structures, buildings with decorations, and even her GPS brought the area to life in the moment. Tucked away, a few hours from a bustling Midwest city, there was a close-knit community, a small but vibrant village, a peaceful yet lively town. The road from the forest opened up just a bit, and Addison could have sworn that there was just the slightest bit more comfort from the GPS with its most recent annotation. Welcome to Evergreen. Hello, I am Sofa. Welcome to Christmas in White and Blue. Let's talk about Evergreen. We're going to get into some of the world building of Christmas in White and Blue. The best way to start is talking about the town in which it's set, Evergreen. This is a fictional location in the northern Midwest of the United States that is based on a few different real-world locations. No matter where you go, there is something to see in Evergreen. Decorations, events, community projects, and other festive traditions can be found around every corner. There's ice skating on the local lake, multiple neighborhood decoration contests, the park, shopping centers, community locations, and much more. From local coffee chains and their festive specialty drinks to big events like the tree lighting. The very act of celebrating the holidays in Evergreen is practically a way of life. And no, that doesn't just mean Christmas. Let's start with Evergreen Park. Evergreen Park is a large area full of beautiful spruce trees, which are the origin of the location's namesake. A nicely sized lake runs alongside it and the neighboring homes of plenty of the residents. As the location grew in popularity and size, plenty of the walking trails were implemented to encourage visitors and residents to enjoy its serene view. The walking paths are referred to simply as the trails and span across not only the entire park, but even reach into some of the nearby living spaces. Two pedestrian bridges cross over the lake to connect parts of the trails. During the winter months, Evergreen Lake freezes over deeply enough for ice skating, which is properly accessible by more of the trail ends. North of those specific trail ends, into the forest, is the park center. This is where all of the outer trails lead and is also used as a gathering space at times. It has a round set of stairs which brings the passerbys down a few levels, but in its own center rises back up slightly, almost like a stage. Although trees mostly surround it, it's possible to see the light of the area referred to as the Commons from the center. Parkview Commons is much larger than what's expected by most visitors. It's akin to a large outlet mall with tons of mom and pop restaurants and shops. There is plenty for all types of people to enjoy here, whether it's shopping, crafts, coffee shops, mechanics, groceries. They are all connected to aid one another. Within the Commons, there are a few central locations. Parkview Center is what some would call the main attraction space of Parkview Commons. 2 levels of stores and restaurants surrounding an open area, which is usually where the annual tree lighting is held. This is connected to the main indoor space of the mall. Attached to the Commons are upper apartments where some of the business owners live. These spaces are a bit expensive, but to those who live there, it's worth it. Along the northeast trails, Parkview Inns can be found welcoming guests to the entire Parkview communal space. They connect to the lifts, which lead west to the lodge, which we'll talk about a bit later. Decades back, a local kid left for college with dreams of managing his own business. He turned out to be extremely successful, returning to invest in his hometown. The local owners were initially skeptical, but after meeting with the young man about his vision and understanding the legal protections he was offering to them and their individual businesses, they came together under one umbrella. It definitely wasn't easy, but this eventually turned the quiet strip into a large, homey village full of mostly local businesses. Evergreen Apartments is a very well-funded complex consisting of 3 large buildings. Initially a much smaller location, the original building was eventually renovated for staff purposes once the new buildings were completed. They sit slightly southwest of the Commons below the mountain range. There are plenty of amenities like balconies, woodland views, and access to the Evergreen walking trails. For some of the more expensive units, residents have access to private parking and a beautiful view of neighboring cities, and maybe even Evergreen itself. Evergreen Grove is a large network of multiple connected neighborhoods. There are over 5 different neighborhoods within the area, and they all have their own unique layouts. But for now, we only need to discuss 2 of them. Lakeside is a large neighborhood bordering the lake and is connected to the park via the trails. The homes range from the small original builds from before the investment to the nicely sized modern domiciles. The community is full of people living in the area who either work in Evergreen or one of the adjacent cities, but this community, although larger these days, is still just as close-knit as before. Grove Circle is a larger private home area, predominantly owned by the local investors, doctors, and other high-salary individuals. These homes are all custom, a product of the successful investment in the town decades prior. This is what some would call the rich people neighborhood, and they wouldn't be wrong. Make no mistake, this isn't where all of the rich people in Evergreen live. There are individuals who could absolutely live here, but have made the choice to be more subtle. The Evergreen Lodge and Resort is the massive pinnacle of the town. From Parkview Inns and just east of Evergreen Apartments are a couple lifts that take you straight up the mountain to the lodge space. Many people enjoy the area year-round, but the influx of tourism that they receive during the winter seasons is a huge part of what makes this area profitable. Most of the local shops were incentivized to open up secondary locations within the lodge area. Evergreen itself is seen as a beautiful space alone, but the lodge area, in comparison, is fairy tale-like. Beautiful, well-built cabins and shops styled off German architecture are presented with nostalgic, traditional holiday decorations. These are places where you could visit casually when carrying a resort pass. Without it, there is a fee to take the lifts, but the ability to fully enter the resort is exclusive to those who are currently staying. This concludes our exploration into the town Evergreen. There is much more to explore here and plenty of locations we didn't speak about, but for now, I believe this is enough information for us to be able to orient ourselves and witness our characters through their story once we finally begin Christmas in White and Blue. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you soon.